Hey guys, Mr. Testa here for our next video in the my favorite type series. We are officially halfway done. This video marks the second half of our videos. We are finally in the top 10, or the true top 10, if we don't count number 10 itself. And yeah, we're going to dive into number 9. Now, like I said in my last video, if you actually watched it, and if you didn't watch it, here's a recap. 9 and 10, ground and rock. Honestly, could have flipped back and forth either way. I almost did flip them. To me, ground and rock are basically the same thing. Like, I get the nuances. I understand from a game perspective and a lore perspective the differences and stuff. But to me, they might as well be the same type. Like, if they ever needed to get rid of a type, they should just combine the two. Honestly, like, again, I get the differences. I get it. I know from a game standpoint they do matter. But to me, they're basically the same thing. So that's why I made sure that to put them together. They do have some cool Pokemon, though. And some of my more favorite Pokemon are part of one of these two types, especially the ground type. So let's go ahead and dive in. Like I said, number 9 is ground. Number 10 was rock. The two are basically the same thing, more or less. So let's dive in. Quick, super fast recap. I'm going to show you 4 Pokemon. The first 3 are ones that I like. We got a pure type that is only ground. We got a type where the ground is primary type, and then it's got another type. Then it's got ground is the secondary type, and then the last one is my least favorite type from this, or Pokemon from this typing. Yes, let's go ahead and dive in. So, my favorite ground type Pokemon, and this goes way back. This Pokemon is actually for the longest time on my original top 6 when it came time to build a team. Not one of my favorite top 6, but top 6 for a team whenever I went to tournaments and stuff like that, and that was Donphan. Donphan has a good move set. It can hit hard. It's got good defense, and it was our first real elephant Pokemon. Now, again, like I mentioned in one of my Steel video with Copperjaw, Donphan looked more like a elephant hybrid looking thing. It wasn't a true elephant in my mind, but it was an attempt at an elephant. That's one of the reasons why I like Copperjaw, because he was a true elephant. But I still like Donphan. It's a cool design. I love his rollout. Plus, in the anime, when you're watching, I can't remember the name of the actual movie, but it was one of the movies after Gen 1 was over, and Donphan just pops out, and you're like, oh my god, there's more Pokemon coming. Like, we need this new National Dex, or this new Pokedex to drop. And Donphan was one of those first ones. Really, other than Ho-Oh, when you see him, the rainbow version of him in the beginning of the series, Donphan was the first real Gen 2 Pokemon we see. So it was cool to see him, and I really love his unevolved form, Phanpy. He's just a great Pokemon, and again, I have a lot of nostalgia with him because he was on my original 6 team when I was doing tournaments in my younger years. Now, my next favorite Pokemon is one of my more favorite. I'd say top 20, top 25 overall for me. It's an awesome Pokemon. I do think his evolution line is a little weird, especially his first stage evolution. It's like these don't really go together, but I still think it's an awesome Pokemon, and that is Flygon. Flygon has always been a solid Pokemon. It's a dragon type that can help you out. It's strong, it hits hard, it's got a lot of good moves. Its flying ability, or its elevate ability, made it so you couldn't hit it with certain moves, and its ground ability helped out balance itself out. And then again, that dragon type just let it hit hard against most Pokemon. It was also really cool because he was such an easy Pokemon to acquire, and you could acquire him kind of early in the games, the Ruby Sapphire games. Trapinch was acquirable even before Badge 4, I think it was. So again, it's an easy Pokemon to get for the most part. He's a powerful Pokemon. He's a solid Pokemon. And he just looks cool. He looks like a bug dragon kind of Pokemon, but he's also a ground type. So I just think it's just a cool all-around guy. And again, when we see Drake in the anime series pull him out, he knows how to use him well. He truly shows why he's an Elite Four member, and I just like him. Now, my favorite ground type as a secondary, we're going with another dragon, and that is Garchomp. I will admit Cynthia is partially the reason I like Garchomp because her Garchomp was on point. Her Garchomp was a beast in the anime series. And then you go and fight him in the actual game, and oh my gosh, even the most hardened Pokemon trainers would have the hardest time against her Garchomp. You could walk into her Garchomp match with an Ice-type Pokemon and still struggle. So Garchomp overall is awesome. He's powerful. He's a well put together character or Pokemon in the series where you can actually use him for real battling. Plus, on top of that, in the anime, it's cool to see his speed, especially in like the later series, like Sun and Moon and stuff, where you see them actually riding Garchomp and he's going and he's like literally keeping up with a jet aircraft. It just shows how awesome Garchomp is and the power that he has. Now, my last Pokemon, my least favorite one, honestly, this Pokemon, I'm not a fan because, first off, I'm not really a fan of snakes, which is weird because I live, in the desert. But I've never been a huge fan of snakes, and this Pokemon just, it kind of looked dumb to me. I'm sorry if you like him or if he's your favorite or whatever, but he was kind of a dumb Pokemon to me. I thought the design was kind of stupid, and again, he's a snake. I'm not a fan of snakes. And that was Sandaconda. I thought, again, he just looks weird to me. He doesn't look appealing. He doesn't look like he could be strong. His strengths in the games are actually pretty average at best. And again, he just, I don't know what it is. It's the design. It's the lacklusterness. We don't see a whole lot of him in the series. So he just kind of makes the bottom of my list. So there's number 9, Ground and Rock, 9 and 10, both kind of going together. So stick around as we start to wrap up the series and we get closer and closer to number 1 and see if you can guess what my number 1 is. So thanks for watching and stick around for number 8 coming soon.